more about South Africa?
Oh, South Africa. South Africa has around the population resides around 64 million people residing there in the country, and also the GDP, for example, is $400 billion. And then I remember for the major cities, there's three major cities. It's Johannesburg, Durban, and also Cape Town. These are three major cities. And then I remember for once is the climate. The climate is subtropical and Mediterranean, which is a bit cooler, and it's cooler, much more cooler than Malaysia. And the languages, there's so many languages. There's 11 official languages such as English, including English, my bad. So now the geographic features of it is from grassland, the big vast grassland for animals to graze upon, and also to high peak mountain peaks that can cause frost, and also the soaring heat of desert. So it's very diverse. So what I remember for the economy of the country itself is the second biggest economy in Africa. And I remember from in terms of the prices of companies such as UHT, for example, it's a milk company, it's been increased for 1.6% ever since the country is a middle class driving company, which means that it's mostly fueled by the middle class, and its urbanization is also increasing, therefore it rose by that much. And from that is talking about the infrastructure of the country. The country itself have a soaring improvement in terms of the roads, and there's three major spots of major ports that including exports and imports of the country itself. So it's been easier for any products to go out and into the country. And I will say that there's an improvement of the infrastructure can also give a smooth operation for the logistics.
What is South Africa cross-culture risk?
Oh, the cross-culture risk for South Africa. Yes, there's three major points I want to talk about that. Number one would be about the cultural diversification and also language barriers. As I said before, there is the 11 official languages, right? So one of the three major of that languages is Zulu, Xhosa, and also Afrikaans, and also English lah. So by that point, there's also can happen language barriers between each other. For example, between the locals and the whites, for example, right? And that can cause miscommunication, and miscommunication in South Africa is quite a big offense, and also can possibly be a crime in some cases. So number two would be about the consumer preferences and also the brand loyalty. As South Africa have been seen have an increase in terms of the products to the big terms of product they are very loyal towards to, and it's very hard for the small businesses to be very small businesses to compete in the big businesses competition environment. So that's one of the big second point. But the third point will be quite a big point also, as it comes across the racial and the social sensitivities, as there is a very big history, a very impactful history in South Africa since British were being colonized before South Africa. There has been a very big divide between the locals and the whites, and even though there's some policies that try to make the policy towards all of them to be better, but there is some cases that there is not much improvement can happen. So what the government have done in their website, one of them is to promote big black businesses economy, and to protect their local businesses within the country. So this is the cross-cultural risk, the main points, the three main points I can give you. Is that enough for you?
Yes, enough.
Enough, okay.
Thank you, sir. Can you please explain and evaluate to us the South Africa country risk?
Yeah, sure. For South Africa's country risk, there are three major risks, which is the political risk, economical risk, and also the legal and regulatory risk. For the political risk, South Africa is a democracy country, but they faces a few challenges, like in order of their governance, corruption, and also the service delivery. When we see the 2023 Transparency International Corruption Perception Index, South Africa holds 83 out of 180 countries. So this shows that South Africa has a moderate level of public corruption, public sector's corruption. And for the economical risk, South Africa is the most industrialized country. It has slow GDP growth, where high unemployment and infrastructure issues. As we can see in the unemployment rate of South Africa as for 2024, it stands at 33.9% of unemployment rate, which is globally high. And they also suffer with electrical shortages by Eskom, which impacted the cold storages and factory productions. And for the legal and regulatory risk, South Africa has a strong legal institution, but it faces regulatory delays. For an example, where farmers has raised concern over the land issue, which might impact the land ownership rights for foreign businesses.
Evaluate the currency risk to South Africa.
Yes. Let's start with the currency risk. South Africa uses the rand or ZAR, which is considered an emerging market currency. This means it's highly sensitive to global events, especially the changes in the US interest rate and also global commodity prices. South Africa is a major exporter of gold and coal, so when commodity prices rise or fall, the rand often moves sharply. Recently, the rand has shown unusual stability, with its value fluctuating less than in the past. However, it remains vulnerable to sudden changes. Factors like political uncertainty and energy shortages at home, known as load shedding, can quickly shake investor confidence and weaken the rand.
How about financial risk to South Africa?
Okay, now onto the financial risk. South Africa banking system is strong and well regulated. Banks have passed stress tests and remain resilient even during tough times. But there are ongoing risks, especially from high government debt and slow economic growth. Unemployment is very high, which is around 30%, and the inequality is among the worst in the world. Water and energy shortages are persistent problems, threatening both businesses and consumers. These issues can lead to social unrest and make it harder for the economy to grow.
Evaluate the commercial risk of industry daily.
Yes, sure. There are three commercial risks, which are the demand and the preference. The second is the competition risk, and the third is the logistics and distribution risk. For the first one, which is the demand and preference, South Africa has over 60 million population, and with increasing growing urbanization and health awareness. The RTD, which is the ready-to-drink milk segment, is slowly expanding. However, only small portion of the population can afford to purchase the premium dairy products regularly. This is due to the inequality of income. The second, which is the competition risk, South Africa dairy products are dominated by local brands like Clover and Parmalat, which they have strong distribution and brand recognition. And the imported dairy products, they face higher distribution costs due to inland transport and port congestion at the Durban and Cape Town. And the third commercial risk is the distribution and logistic risk, where South Africa has relatively a good road network, logistics, faces challenges due to port congestion, customs delays and freight theft. This risk can cause delays in the delivery timeline and increase costs, especially for the perishable dairy products.
South Africa or not?
Okay, based on the analysis, there is some market potential in South Africa that FarmFresh can enter that country. Firstly, growing the demand for their product. As mentioned before, the other guys, UHT has increased in sales about 1.6%, which is signaling growing consumption dairies about South Africa. The urbanization is also driving the lifestyle change because the city resident will buy more convenient products such as RTM milk.
Any potential risk and how to resolve that?
Okay, however, there are some risks to be considered. The first one is language barrier, because the South Africa have 11 official language, which can lead the misunderstanding in branding or packaging or whatever related to the product. So to mitigate this, the FarmFresh should collaborate with marketers or cultural advisors to ensure that product is resonate to South Africa consumers. So another one is regulatory challenges, which is such as land reform policies and also government process. These two could pose obstacle. To address this, I think FarmFresh could lease land or partners with local farmers to reduce risk related to land ownership and policy changes. My conclusion is, with considering the risk and the opportunity, I think FarmFresh should focus on exporting rather than establishing the farms. By partnering with established local distributors, I think FarmFresh can minimize the initial capital investment, leverage local expertise, and also navigate the market efficiency. These approaches balance the opportunities and risk, ensuring a sustainable and profitable entry into the South African market.